Hey y'all, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Front Porch Consign. I'm Billy Ann, and my husband and I are full-time resellers. This video is dedicated to going over a multitude of platforms that we've used or decided not to use, and I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of 7 different ways that you can sell online. And if you hear questionable noises in the back, it's my son. I have Pyrus Booty to keep him at bay, but he may come on. This is a few takes in and he just loves the camera. So I'm gonna get started. If you've never resold before, this probably is a good intro video. My husband and I watched, I don't even know how many YouTube videos trying to figure out how to even start reselling. And so if you're like a full-time reseller and you have tips for me, please leave them in the comments. Or if a company has worked well for you in a certain way or hasn't, please let me know. I would love to get connected. If you have questions after the video, leave those too. I'm happy to connect with you. I know a ton of people are starting to ask because we have consigned for them or they see that we're moving so much product, how we do it. So this is absolutely ground floor level, the nitty gritty facts of many different companies, what they do, and why we do or do not use them, okay? First company that's up is ThreadUp. This company, you request to consign with them. Basically, they send you in the mail this huge poly mailer. You can literally stuff pounds of clothing in it. You seal the poly mailer back up, put the postage on it that's provided, and then you send it back to them. You don't have to pay for their services at all, which is awesome. Then you have to wait, and that's kind of a hard waiting game. And you can go online, and so there's an online platform or an app that you can use to track what items of yours have sold. So what's the pros, what's the cons? The biggest pro is that this is super easy, and you don't have to invest anything other than giving away, like sending over your clothes. So it's easy. The negatives, I mean, that's the positive. It's easy. Like if you just don't want to mess with the stuff and you want to clean out your home, ThreadUp is your answer. The negatives, there are very low margins on ThreadUp. Now it will say like there is a profit pyramid that if you send them certain level of things that you'll get either no payment back or, you know, as the value of your item gets higher, you get a higher percentage. But overall, if you're sending to ThreadUp, you need to send them something super high end or you're gonna make very little. One of my girlfriends sent them a lot of boutique dresses and got back literally like $1. And she was really upset about that. But just know, there's not a lot of money that you can make from ThreadUp unless you are sending them very high-end things. So why would you use it? It's easy. If you are a reseller and you have a ton of things that are just not selling, resellers call that a death pile. I learned that term. Oh, yeah, it's called a death pile. But if you're a reseller and you have a death pile, you could definitely send them those things that are just not selling and maybe you get lucky. I don't know. Or if you're out and you're sourcing, which I'm gonna do another video on multiple ways to source. Cheese, yeah. But if you've sourced something awesome that's high-end designer and you just don't wanna mess with the selling and the housing of that thing, I would definitely say send it on over to ThreadUp. It's easy and you get things out of your house. But if you're a serious reseller or if you wanna actually make money off of things, I would not suggest ThreadUp. Next up on our reselling investigation is Curtsy. Curtsy is an app, reselling app that is smaller and newer than other resale apps. In my opinion, this is not a professional opinion, but I think it's just really cute. And they push for you to post videos of yourself and the actual product. I feel like it's definitively geared more toward people who just want to clear out their closet, which is awesome and great. I did that for years. But it's more geared to that than to reselling. This is something that I thought is really cool. You are rewarded for the number of things you post. So if you went on to Curtsy and you just spent a night posting things and you posted like 20 things, you're gonna earn points, which who doesn't love points? It's like Starbucks, like free coffee because you have an obsession with it. Same thing with Curtsy. The more you post, the more points you get. Another thing that I think is super cool about Curtsy is that it is the, other than the ThreadUp. ThreadUp is the easiest thing to use because you just send it off. But if you have no idea how to ship things and deal with selling your things, it is pretty easy. They even offer these ship kits that they will send to you that has like the poly mailer and a cute sticker, which I will talk about packaging in another video. Level 1 packaging and level 2 big guy packaging. Maybe one day when I learn more, there'll be a level 3. But Curtsy even sends you packaging for you to package up your stuff and send it off, which is amazing. I have family members that like wanted to do certain platforms, but the whole packaging and like, I don't want to deal with that. And I get it. I understand. If you don't have like a packaging center in your home, that can be a little frustrating, but Curtsy makes that super simple. Some reasons why you would not possibly want to sell on Curtsy is unless you're constantly like you're committed to that app and earning the points to push your product, because that's how they like get people to see your product, is you add more so you get more points and more people see your things. So if you're not super committed to posting your things, you're not gonna have a super promoted closet on the Curtsy app. From us, like just using it with a company, some negative things that I've learned is we do not make a lot of money off Curtsy compared to other platforms. My husband will like email me and he's like, hey, Billian, did you know that we made 25 whole cents off those shorts? And I'm like, I know, I'm gonna stop posting on Curtsy. So that's just like a con, in my opinion, is that Curtsy, you don't make a lot of money, especially if you follow their guidelines. Like if you give free shipping and you discount things, like you're gonna make like dollars and nickels. You don't make a lot. You don't have to figure out, I'm checking my notes. It is super easy. You don't have to figure a whole lot out because it is so user-friendly, but you don't make a lot of money and there's just not a lot of traction compared to other things that I'll talk about. If you don't want to get into this seriously, you know, it's something to definitively to consider, or you could even cross-post from Curtsy to another platform, which I will talk about in a future video as well as cross-posting, which is like, cross-posting is like when you're playing Mario Brothers and you get the mushroom and Mario grows, that's cross-posting. But if I had to choose just one platform to sell on, Curtsy would not be my choice. All right, next up, the next platform I'm gonna talk about is Depop. Depop is kind of like a niche market that is geared, again, my opinion, to like the younger generation, like these new kids, like college, high school. I don't even think in the workforce yet, really. So it's kind of a niche-y little market. Things that are really bright or scandalous, scandalous, do well on Depop. Some really pro kind of things for Depop is you only have to post, or you only can post 4 pictures. So it takes some work out. Like other platforms, you can post, and you know, the more pictures you post, the better your stuff does. So with Depop, you can only post 4. You also can use hashtags, which are super cool. That's how you can, you know, people shop on Depop and search is via hashtags, and you can ship worldwide. They have this like little toggle guy that you can ship worldwide. Be careful, because Depop, you've got to know how to ship well to make money, and that is a hard lesson to learn. If you haven't lost your behind from shipping before, or you don't know that could happen, just watch out. We've had some sales on Depop, and I'm going to tell you why not. Like why we haven't had a ton is because we haven't posted a ton, and that's because, like I told you, it's scandalous. Like, don't be around your kids and be on the Depop app. And maybe that's just my opinion, but there are a lot of upper chest areas that are very sheer, like the tops are very sheer and they're very questionable positioning. I'm just saying, sorry, I'm old and I'm like not down No, I'm not down with that around my kids. I mean, yeah, no. So we really don't post on Depop. My husband's like, hey, Leanne, why don't you pose? I'm like, you've lost your mind. So if you are between the ages, I don't know, of like, well, I guess you have to be 18 because there's a lot of things you can see on Depop. But if you're younger and you feel cool about posing in questionable positions and you have bright, funky, unique, niche clothing, Depop is for you. We have sold like some shoes and I think just fair shoes on there. But whenever I'm out like sourcing and I find something super like unique that I think like a really young person would wear that's cool, that I'm like, ooh, if I was really cool, I'd wear that. It usually has to do with shoes because I wouldn't wear those scandalous tops. But that is Depop and how the pros and cons of it. If you're above the age of 30 and you don't want to deal with that, I wouldn't even look at Depop. But that's just my opinion. All right, next up we have Mercari, and I'm just gonna be real honest with you. I have very little information on Mercari because we really don't use it. My husband is the main, like the Mercari guy, if anything, but we have like under 50 items on Mercari and we've sold a few things and they're super random, like what sells. Like I couldn't tell you like this brand's gonna sell on Mercari, but we haven't had a lot of success there. Early on when we were trying all these different things, right, including Mercari, we did ThreadUp, Mercari, like everything I've talked about, we've done, like we didn't have success. So we used it less. So I'm just telling you, a lot of resellers sell like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari. We have not had great success. But we have had a few random like jeans sell that wouldn't sell on the other platforms. So you could definitely check that one out. Let me know your thoughts on Mercari, like things that have sold well for you there, or maybe some strategies we're not using on Mercari because we, haven't had that much success. Now this next one, next up, the next one, we have had success in. It's like, really? Okay, the next way that we have resold is probably when everybody's actually already done, is my guess, if you're looking into reselling at all. Because people dabble here, and it's Facebook Marketplace. This was like our gateway drug to reselling because my husband found like all my clutter in the house that I would just give him. I'm like, here, sell this. During a season of quarantine, and he did, and it started on Facebook Market, and we were like, oh, all this stuff is selling. What I didn't know that my husband got to before I did, because of how the quantity he was selling, is you can ship on Facebook Marketplace once you sell enough items, and it's not within groups. I personally, my husband does not do this because he didn't even know about it, but like those mama groups, like Smockin' Mamas or whatever, I sell a ton of my own child stuff on there, and sometimes other people's. But y'all, that is a game that I need to do an entire video on because it's stressful. And I'll even show you my strategies. But there's that niche market. But when I'm talking about selling on Facebook, I'm not talking about selling on your local buy, sell, trade group. Nothing in the groups. I'm talking about that little icon that's a store, and it's the market. So if you post enough things in the market, you eventually will get shipping. And a lot of resellers are like, this is stupid. I know this. Well, yeah, but if you didn't know, you didn't know. But once you get that shipping element, you've got to know and weigh things, like get a kitchen scale out and weigh your stuff and be really careful about how you ship. Again, I will do a shipping video in the future, no worries, because it'll make it or break it for you, I promise. But so Facebook Market is a great gateway reselling area. Some negatives that I found. In my opinion, it is extremely difficult to communicate on Facebook Marketplace. Like if you're actually selling on the marketplace, even like locally, I bought a cash box, like one of the lockable guys the other night, and was trying to communicate with the seller, and it's like the messenger app is just a hot mess. And I eventually just gave him my husband's phone number. I was like, here, you can just text him, and we Venmo'd, and it was fine. But the last 2 times we've actually bought things, like we're buying filing cabinets also for storing all of our merchandise. But every time we buy something, via Facebook and message these people, it is a battle. Yeah, so that's a problem. Yeah, but it's great. At this point, now that we've already like gotten a little bit more established with other platforms, the main things we sell on Facebook Marketplace, to be honest, are like our lower end items or like large things that are somewhat awkward to ship, like due to size or weight. If something is weighted really heavy and we know like that's gonna cost bukus to ship, or if it's really large and it would cost bukus to ship, we won't ship it, we'll just do Facebook. And we'll even do it locally, obviously. Or like toys. I've noticed toys often, even using shipping, they will sell. So that's kind of the niche piece of Facebook Market that we use, like for low cost items, toys, awkwardly heavy or large items. Right, the next one I'm going to talk about is the main, one of the main mamma jamma reselling markets, and it's eBay. Okay. After my husband, because it was more my husband doing all this, and then I realized if your husband's a reseller, you are a reseller. It's not a one person situation. So my husband started on Facebook, and then he crossed over to the eBay platform. eBay, if you don't know, is an online site that I feel like everybody when you think eBay, you think bidding, right? Like bidding on something. And that's, I believe, how it started. But I will get to that in a second about the whole bids and blah, blah, blah. But it is other than like Amazon, it is the largest reselling platform. I do not mess with with eBay at all. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But my husband does. And often we will have like reselling wars. It's never stated like we're at war on our reselling this week, like who can sell more. But we're super competitive. And sometimes I'm like we'll post the same item and they'll be like, it's sold on eBay. And I'm like, how did you do that? How did that sell so fast? And it's because compared to the platform I use, eBay has so many more buyers. So eBay is, if you're gonna seriously resell, eBay is the place. Some pros, serious pros. A, it has a plethora of buyers. 2, in my opinion, eBay has been super supportive. Like anytime we've had an issue or a question, eBay has worked really well with my husband. Also, if you don't know, there are different levels of eBay, like reselling that you can level up and buy. I do not understand all of that, but I do understand that the level that we are on at this point is very supportive, and we even get like shipping materials. So when my husband was like, we're gonna pay and we're gonna go to another level, and I'm like, oh, like thinking of just like monthly cost of the business, he like explained that we also get materials from eBay to help ship out things with that. So I think they're super supportive of their sellers, and I really appreciate that about eBay. Here is the con. Here is why your girl does not sell on eBay. If I want something to be sold on eBay, I hand it to my husband and smile my cute smile and try to win him over. And that is because of shipping. He knows, my husband knows, all of these different things to ship and to not like lose money. You have to know all these facts, or at least that's what I see him do. He knows like the length and the height and the weight and the width of the box and the thing, and he puts in these codes to help make sure we don't lose money, because shipping will get you. And eBay is not, they don't calculate the shipping and do the shipping for you. You can ship via eBay, but you just have to know what you're doing. And let's be honest, friends, that's just something I don't want to learn. I'm not good with spreadsheets. I'm not good with facts and stuff like that. So when I want something to be posted to eBay, I hand it to my husband and smile. There are some resellers out there. I mean, one of my favorite, I'll just be honest, to like learn from is Mogi Beth. She is amazing, and I will reference her a lot because she is so knowledgeable. Know your weakness. Be honest with yourself. Spreadsheets and shipping, not my strong suit. You gotta know your stuff for eBay. One of the biggest pools of sellers, super supportive, but you better know how to ship. if you've been wondering why I haven't mentioned a certain reselling platform, it's because I saved what I believe to be the best for last. And that is Poshmark. Now, some of you may hate Poshmark. You may have some serious beef with Poshmark. And I understand that everybody is different. But I love it. I actually use this personally via a friend recommended Poshmark to me. And I used it personally before we ever started this company. And I would like sell my clothes or my daughter's clothes. And when I would buy new clothes, I'd be like, oh, don't worry, husband. Like, I bought it with my Poshmark money, right? But then when we got serious and we started this business, I was like, and we started getting hundreds of items of clothing. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go down the Poshmark path because I know it. But even now, like after playing with a multitude of platforms, it is still my favorite. So if you don't know, Poshmark is online and an app platform. You can get up to 16 photos, and they've added videos, and they've also added style tags, which is almost like a hashtag. The best thing, they've added a lot actually recently. One of the best things about Poshmark is that you know exactly how much you're going to make with taxes deducted, which I haven't even talked about that. Taxes will get you too, and we have to file them. So if you're like a client or if you're like a person, a family member, do we have to file taxes? Absolutely. Scott does it every month. I don't because I'm not a numbers girl. But Poshmark takes out taxes, Poshmark takes out shipping, and then shows you the number of what you are going to make. Y'all, that is golden. It also, after you put in certain descriptors within your listing, it will tell you the range it is selling for on Poshmark, which is awesome and is super, 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 underline the super, important when you are sourcing. And I will do a sourcing video explaining all of that. But you need to know how much something is worth before you buy the joker, right? Or like we do consignment, that's how we started and we still are doing it. You need to know how much something is worth before you spend 10 minutes taking pictures, describe it, measuring it, all the things. If something's only worth $8 and you earn $3, may not be the best choice to spend all your time on it. So it will tell you how much something is reselling for and how much you're gonna make off of a piece. It is super user-friendly. It will also, kind of like the other apps, will send you the shipping label, which is awesome. And so you just print that bad boy out, smack it on a box or a poly mailer and send it out. So it does all the shipping things for you. It doesn't send you a ship kit like Curtsy. That's super cute. But it does allow you just to print a label and stick it on any kind of box. It also, speaking of shipping, this is like Poshmark's golden thing. You can, as a seller, sell up to 5 pounds of clothing for the same amount of shipping, which is like $7 and some change. I should know that exact number, but your girl's not a numbers girl. So literally, if somebody was to buy like 7 dresses and they all weighed under 5 pounds, the shipping wouldn't change, which means you as a seller make a ton of money because everything is in one box and you don't have to take shipping out for each individual item. That is like amazing. And I'm gonna have to do a video on that one too. It's just, that is a phenomenal plus that you can ship up to 5 pounds with Poshmark for like $7. Amazing. It has like every category. Women's, men's, they just had pets, home. I got some sheets in and like duvets. And I'm like, where am I going to sell these? Poshmark. And I sold some of them for pretty legit prices. Like it was awesome. One thing to know. When I did my first post on Poshmark for the company, we waited with bated breath. Or it was like the first, I had posted like 30 things and we waited and we waited and we waited. And I told my husband, I said, this is going to be like a moss gathering stone, or a stone gathering moss rolling down a hill. I said, once we sell one, it will continue to go. And that waiting wasn't fun, but I was right. Like if you are like, okay, I listened to her video and I did Poshmark because she said it was like the best, which I really do believe it is for any girl that doesn't like numbers and wants to have fun and sell things and have fun. But if you post a bunch of things and then you're like mad at me because something doesn't sell within the first week, just be patient. And I'm gonna have an entire video dedicated to just Poshmark because I love it that much. But I promise once one thing sells and you get your first ratings and you get some sales going, that it just grows and grows and grows. You've got to be committed. You got to keep posting, but you can sell a ton on Poshmark. And I love it. It's my favorite. I am the Poshmark girl. People call me that now, the Poshmark girl around town. As always, click the thumbs up button to like this video and click the red subscribe button to get more content like this. If you have comments or questions, please leave them below. I cannot wait to connect with you.